Hello and welcome to 5 Talk Street. I'm your host, Vince Sims. Celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. That's what we're doing. It's a time to recognize the contributions and influence of Hispanic Americans to the history and achievements in America. And joining me today is Benjamin Espino. He is the president and general manager of the Latino Cultural Center. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Vince.
You are welcome. Tell our viewers a little bit about the Latino Cultural Center.
Yes, so the Latino Cultural Center was designed by Ricardo Legarreta, who is a mid-century modern Mexican architect who won the American Institute of Architects gold medal back in 2000. He is considered, in Mexico, he would be comparable to the American architect Frank Lloyd Wright. And so the Cultural Center opened its doors in 2003. We are a division of the City of Dallas's Office of Arts and Culture, and as such, provide a lot of programming for our community. The 27,500 square foot facility has 2 gallery spaces and an auditorium, and we do about 300 events a year.
Wow, 300 different events a year. Give us just a few of those. What are some of your big ones and main ones?
Well, yes, just today, actually, this evening we're going to have 3 events going on. We're going to have a documentary film screening in our auditorium. Then we're going to have one of our future resident theater companies, Academy of Theater Company, do a theatrical performance in our main plaza and then our new courtyard. And then in our black box space, we'll also have a small performance there. And then in our gallery space, we're actually opening our Hispanic Heritage Month exhibit called Nuestro Oak Cliff. Oak Cliff was a traditionally Hispanic or Latino neighborhood / barrio that is going through gentrification right now.
And I know that you've opened up a new aspect to this, the Black Box Theater to the center. Can you tell us about that?
Correct. Yes, actually, so back in 2006, so as we are part of the City of Dallas, obviously, cities issue bond programs, whether it's for fire stations, streets, libraries, etc. As a municipality, back in 2006, we set aside $4.6 million for bond funding for the Black Box Theater. And again, we worked with the design architect who did the original building, Legarreta and Associates, in order to build this 5,200 square foot black box theater. And the images that you see right now are back from a performance that we had in April called Soltar, which we actually had a street parade that started at a local park and then ended up in the plaza of the theater. And it was actually pretty amazing because, as we all knew, COVID was still raging, but we were still able to celebrate outdoors and bring the beauty of theater to life.
What is Your Healing is Killing Me that's running now?
Your Healing is Killing Me is more of a political work because it actually addresses the fact and the lack of health care that we see, especially for people of color, communities of color, especially African Americans and Latinos who do not have health insurance. So therefore, they do not have the same access as Anglo communities do to health care. So therefore, this play is actually more of a political statement as to the lack of access of healthcare that we as people of color face.
Benjamin, you gave us some of the projects that you have coming up. Can you talk about a few more of those? I know you have some more that are upcoming you might want to share.
Sure, of course. So one thing that I'm a huge fan of history, and so one thing that we try to do during Hispanic Heritage Month is have a series of documentaries and lectures. And so this coming Saturday, we actually have what we call our Pulguita de Arte, or pretty much a flea market that's for artists, where we have local artists display their wares. They're able to sell their artistic, whether they're visual artists, artisans, whatever have you. And one of the important aspects of this is to make sure that we make this free programming for individuals so that we are here to serve the community. And then on October 7th, we're going to have a lecture with Dr. Michael Hinojosa, who has been the superintendent of the Dallas ISD for the last 5 years. And he's one of those rare individuals who this is his second run as being superintendent of the Dallas Independent School District, and actually is an Oak Cliff native, tying in again with our exhibit of Oak Cliff. So that's really another exciting program that we have coming up.
And forgive me if I don't pronounce this right, but En Concierto, is that one coming as well?
En Concierto, yes. So actually, that is with Voces Intema. And so Voces Intema actually focuses on 17th and 18th century classical music. And so they've discovered they're using both Mexican composers. I'm sorry, not Mexican. I guess at this point it was probably still a little bit of New Spain or Mexico composers from that time period to actually do a program of classical music from those composers that were part of New Spain and then early Mexico getting its independence in 1821.
All right, Benjamin. So if people want to follow along and keep up with all of this happening there, how do they go about doing that?
It's very easy. There are two wonderful ways to find us, either facebook.com/LCC Dallas, again, facebook.com LCC Dallas, or you can go to lcc.dallasculture.org. Again, that's lcc.dallasculture.org.
Benjamin, thank you so much for being with us today.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for your time.
And as he just said, if you would like to support the Latino Cultural Center, please visit llc.dallasculture.org.